Let's start this video with a question. Why do bad things happen to good people? You might have asked yourself this when everything in your life seems to be going wrong, when things worsen, and problems seem unsolvable. What if I told you a fact about life that changes everything? The fact is that not everything depends on you or is under your control. Today, we'll explain why you shouldn't give up, even if bad things have happened in your life, and why your reaction to them will determine your destiny. Life is unpredictable. Life always has a way of surprising us. We usually expect everything to go right and never prepare for bad things or difficult situations. But in reality, the truth is that life is unpredictable. We don't know what will happen next, in the next year, or even have control over tomorrow. Nobody knows. If someone had told you 10 years ago that your life would be like this today, would you have believed it? Or over the past 10 years, can you say with certainty that you lived exactly as planned? When we look back, we often realize that our current life is very different from what we imagined. This proves how unpredictable life is. Among all this, one of the hardest things is to keep our balance amidst a storm. Stoicism argues that we should accept this uncertainty as natural. We cannot control the unpredictability of life or prevent some things from going wrong. Although we sometimes believe we have this power, in reality, we do not control the world around us. What we can control is how we react to these events. Being strong doesn't mean expecting the worst, but being prepared to face any situation with calmness and courage. Stoics understood the transience of life and knew the challenge of maintaining balance amidst difficulties. When life changes rapidly, and our carefully made plans crumble in an instant, it can be frustrating and very hard to handle. But one thing we can control is how we react to these changes. Instead of letting anxiety or disappointment take over, we can choose to respond with calmness and think clearly about the next steps. Focusing on things we can control, like our actions and inner feelings, gives us power over our emotional responses. Thus, even when things don't go as expected, we have the choice to either despair or change our mindset to find solutions. This attitude helps us maintain mental health during turbulent times and also enables us to navigate life storms with more confidence and resilience. Life gains meaning when we give it meaning. We shouldn't wait for life to tell us what its purpose is, we should answer that question ourselves. Instead of asking, we should find our own answers. And here on our channel, you can find some of these answers, so subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications to not miss any new videos. Change your way of thinking. We all can feel sad, it's part of being human. There's no way to escape it. Often, we try to ignore or hide our emotions when they're painful, as if that could somehow protect us. But pretending that we're not sad or that something didn't affect us only complicates our ability to deal with these feelings. Instead of facing the pain, we end up seeking ways to numb or deny what we feel, which doesn't help us truly solve the problem. It's when we make an innocent purchase just to feel happy and less frustrated. Or when we drink a bit too much to relax. Or when we play video games for hours, or watch pornography, or scroll through our phones, just because today we don't want to think about problems. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, teaches us a different path, which involves understanding what is under our control and what is not. Stoics believe we cannot control when an emotion arises, but we can choose how to deal with it. When an emotion like sadness arises, we can observe it without self-criticism, without trying to hide it or seek any kind of escape. This means recognizing the emotion, accepting it, and understanding that it is temporary. This way of dealing with emotions allows us to face life with more tranquility and resilience, learning from each experience without being overwhelmed by our feelings. Another tendency of our mind is to focus more on problems and negative things, especially when we are going through difficult times. This can trap us in bad memories and regrets about what has already happened. This habit of negative thinking can be hard to break, but it is possible to change. To combat this tendency, it is important to try to recognize and appreciate the positive aspects of life. When your mind is full of problems, it's easy to forget, but there are countless reasons to be grateful. Every minute you spend dwelling on negative thoughts is a minute you overlook the positive aspects of your life. When you consciously start to acknowledge the good things in your life, it helps balance this tendency to focus only on the negative and improves your emotional state. One common mistake we make is seeing a problem as if it encompasses our entire life, rather than just being a part of it. Imagine you've made a serious mistake at work and are at risk of being fired. The situation is delicate, but you still have your home, your family, your hobbies outside of work. In other words, you have a life and an identity outside of your job. And if you lose your job, you have the opportunity to find a new one. It's not your entire life that goes down the drain. But if you have a distorted view of your problems and the difficulties you face in life, you end up feeling defined by them. No matter what happens, it's important to remember that some of these problems are just situations you're dealing with, not your entire life. To truly break out of this negative cycle, we need to not only focus on the good things in our own lives but also see what's going well in others' lives. This helps shift our focus from the negative to the positive. By changing the way we view things, we can transform our perspective to be more optimistic and joyful. Stoicism was invented so that people could deal directly with their feelings and emotions, rather than trying to repress, escape, or hide what we feel. This is very useful, as we all go through tough times, and knowing how to manage our feelings can make these phases of life more bearable. It's about tuning into what we can and cannot control. We often worry about things we can't change, such as someone else's behavior or any unexpected situation that occurs. We can't control what happens in our lives, like health issues, natural disasters, or difficulties, but we can control how we react to these problems. In this sense, you have complete control over how you respond in your life. Learning to choose our reactions is the great lesson of Stoicism. You can handle anything in a calmer and more rational way, instead of reacting negatively, dramatically, or without thinking. You will grow through what you experience. If we put our hand in the fire and it burns, we don't put it back. We learn not to repeat the mistake and grow from our experience. Now, think about some situations in your life that were difficult at the time, but that you now recognize taught you valuable lessons you wouldn't have learned otherwise. A coworker you trusted who ended up betraying you. A credit card you lent out and didn't get paid back, leaving you with debt. A relationship where you compromised too much, and in the end, lost yourself. An investment you made without researching and ended up losing money. These experiences, though tough, probably taught you valuable lessons that helped shape who you are today. They made you grow. Often, we think that success is the best teacher, but in reality, failure offers the deepest lessons. When you fail, you're forced to closely examine the process. Reviewing your actions, decisions, and how you react to life. This forces you to stop and think about yourself. It helps you understand better where you are and how you can act differently moving forward. Failure is not pleasant. It can hurt, it's not pretty, and almost no one views or considers failure as a positive thing, but these moments are crucial for developing resilience and adaptability. Life isn't just about success. Sooner or later, we will face losses in some areas. And at that moment, we can focus on what we can control, our personal growth. Each failure is an opportunity to look within, identify areas for improvement, and transform the pain into growth. If you adopt a humble attitude, you can achieve this. Join our Stoicist journey at Buy Me a Coffee. Support with a donation or as a member and have a voice in our community. Every coffee fuels our mission to share wisdom. Be our pillar, make a difference today. Success is subjective and differs from person to person, as does happiness. But failure is the same, universally recognized as the inability to react, the inability to handle tragedy, misfortune, or setbacks that happen in our lives. Failure can occur in different areas of your life, but it's always the same thing, not succeeding. While success brings joy, failure teaches valuable lessons and provides unique experiences. There is an adaptability that only mistakes can offer. If we accept our errors as part of the learning process, we can grow more fully and efficiently. However, Sometimes bad things happen that are not caused by our own actions. Life doesn't always follow a fair or predictable path. Problems can arise for no reason, and it's not always possible to understand why. Even so, these tough times can teach us a lot. Expecting life to always be fair can leave us exhausted and frustrated because, in reality, it often isn't. Accidents happen and injustices occur regardless of what we do or don't do. Recognizing this doesn't mean giving up, but rather accepting that not everything is under our control. Instead of wasting energy seeking justifications for every adversity, we can choose to learn from these experiences. Each difficulty, no matter how unfair it seems, gives us a chance to grow and develop our ability to face problems. The way we react to the challenges and problems that life presents to us can determine our personal growth, and this growth, in turn, shapes our destiny. Comment on how you react when something bad happens to you. Your way of reacting can help others who watch this video. Life is unfair, ***. We believe we are good people and, therefore, we often expect that only good things will happen to us. However, this can lead to frustration because life has its own path and doesn't operate based on how we see ourselves. The reality is that life does not make distinctions. It doesn't matter if you are good or bad, successful, have many social media followers, or are in great financial shape. Life is impartial and indifferent, bringing challenges and joys to everyone without exception. Life is like a book full of varied chapters, some happy, others sad, and many filled with drama and emotion. Each chapter adds something unique to the bigger story of our lives. Each chapter builds who you are. When you choose a book to read, you will find some chapters sad or difficult. If you decide to stop reading, close the book, and give up, you will miss the chance to see what happens next and learn the lessons that only the complete story can offer. Similarly, in life, if we focus solely on the difficult moments, we risk being consumed by them. Instead, we should continue the journey and face each challenge as part of the broader process of our lives. That's why the Stoics said that if you focus on the pain, you will start to suffer, but if you focus on the lesson, you will begin to grow. We often look around and see good things happening to bad people and bad things happening to good people, without any kind of explanation. When we think like this, we ignore the sense of life, where there is a greater meaning. When we understand our perspective on life, we understand that what happens to us contributes to something greater, even if at first glance it seems very bad and difficult to bear. There is a book that talks about this, written by the philosopher Viktor Frankl, called Man's Search for Meaning. He was a Jew and went through a concentration camp. In the book, he tells how he managed to find meaning in life even in the most terrible circumstances. He shows how this search for meaning helped not only him but also others to survive and maintain hope and strength to continue. Many people who entered with him did not survive, and inside he witnessed very difficult scenes, such as people so hungry that they lost control, having fits of rage and completely losing hope in life. But he also saw something incredible. Even in these terrible conditions, some people still shared the little food they received, saving a piece of bread for those who needed it most. Although they were almost starving, there were people capable of being generous. And with that, they found a greater meaning for life, even when everything seemed lost. They didn't complain or curse. Instead, they looked around and tried to find the benefit in every situation. Bad things happen to everyone, only good people suffer injustices. It is always possible to find meaning. As Viktor Frankl himself said, the meaning of life is to give life meaning. Focus on the lesson. Seek to learn from all experiences, especially from problems. Instead of letting yourself be carried away by frustrations or regrets, focusing on the lesson that each situation can teach allows you to extract value even from the most difficult challenges. Thinking like this when everything is going wrong in our lives is not easy. It requires you to change your perspective and start seeing each situation as a chance for personal growth. It doesn't mean you will ignore your emotions or deny reality, but that you will learn to think beyond the problem, beyond the misfortune of the situation, beyond the "why me?" Every problem has a growth opportunity, in every situation, we can focus on the pain and cause more suffering, or we can focus on the lesson and learn from the experience. This makes us stronger. By prioritizing learning, the weight of difficulties becomes lighter. You gain mental clarity, you can see each situation more accurately, and you can clearly discern what is under your control and what is not. When a situation cannot be changed, we are challenged to change ourselves. When we enter a company where the process is not right, the environment does not seem to suit us. When we are in a stagnant relationship where nothing changes. When we have the same problems, whether with weight or with the ability to control emotions, as we did when we were teenagers. When we face the same financial problems as when we started working and earning money. There are moments in life when we cannot change a situation because many factors are beyond our control. For example, in a job where the company's policies are set in stone and it is unlikely that anything will change within that system, even if you are right, this will make the process easier. In these times, trying to change the situation will only cause us pain and stress. The real change must start from within. Instead of focusing on what we cannot control, we can change what we can control. This is an invitation to look within, recognize our own limitations, and work to overcome them. You can't change company policies, but you can update your resume and choose where to work. You have no control over the price of rice and other products at the supermarket, but you can increase your income to ease your financial situation. You can't change the person you're in a relationship with, no matter how many videos you share. People don't change other people. But you can change yourself and start setting boundaries for what you can truly tolerate in a relationship. You can start building your own value, regardless of the situation or problems you're facing. You can choose to focus on the lesson and the greater meaning. Changing ourselves doesn't mean abandoning our essence, but rather evolving and adapting how we think and act. This can mean learning new skills, adjusting our expectations, or adopting a new approach to challenges. These changes help us better handle the present and provide references for future difficulties. When we cannot change what happens around us, internal change becomes essential. Begin to adapt, and this will lead you to discover new possibilities and solutions you never dreamed existed before. By accepting the challenge to transform ourselves, we find the peace and efficiency needed to handle any situation. This reflects true human adaptability, the ability to change from within to better deal with the world around us. With Stoicism, we learn mental tools that help us improve, and this is not specific to one person or another, but for everyone who wishes to live in the best way possible. For everyone who wants to progress and know how to better deal with the world around them. Here's the rule to always remember: when something bad happens and leaves you feeling bitter, don't say, "What bad luck," but rather, "How fortunate I am to have the strength and determination to face it." And, as we come to the end of this video, you are certainly one of those people who seeks growth. So comment, "I am." Now, make this knowledge reach more people by leaving a like and sharing it with a friend who needs it. Thank you for watching.